all you got to do is do it. Work with it for a little bit and get on your way. Get on your way, and you're going to have a different practice life. But and I figured out at 18 by 0275, we're going to just spend some time and go through it. Bracket slot, torque, position slot to neutral torque, the target, neutral torque. The neutral torque, you know what I'm talking about, in the slot, neutral torque, but we want 7 out here that's expressed. Okay? Slot at 0 to the slot. Okay, the pad base torque positions, upper 1/2 torque at 7 degrees, and then it stops. And then if something happens, they start fooling around, or somebody starts eating something, and it goes backward. If it starts needing torque, it puts it on. How nice. You don't have to do anything. This is the other way. You've got 2 beside and they're working together. They can be both the same or they can be the opposite. They work the best when they're opposite torques. But it doesn't have to be right next to it. It can be over here, and it still controls that wire that's in there exactly to be how we want it to be. This little tip lets it slide in. Does that make sense, just looking at it? Yes. Anybody? Yes. It's that simple. But it's point contacts, and this is the part that gets the whole bracket exactly where it's supposed to go. But this part over here is what it still expresses the torque you want. Yes. It's that simple. Now, this is back across. It's tipping it one way, okay? The way that we want. Here it is. Taking it like this. One's going this way, the green. Retrocline, down, upright. Okay? Bracket slot, torque position, neutral torque. Base pad torque position. Isn't that great? Okay. This is cool when you put one over the top of each other. And man, does this work. You get this door to, and don't tell your patient that they're on their way home completely, very quickly. Because, and what's so nice, you're doing it with the right wires. And you're not jumping. I'm going to show you, we figured out the increments is we're about 9 to 10 thousandths is how much we change the mass from one wire to the next. It's all figured so we're not jumping and causing a whole bunch of pain a lot. Okay? So now, here we go, 014. You look in there now, let's get 018 in there. Amazing. All of a sudden, that doesn't look too bad. Here we got team going on. You're way down the track. We just put 2 wires in. And you're getting everything. Clear back in the second molars, everything. You got things working for you. Now you come in with the combi wire. 140275. And I want to tell you, you're going to be in better stead when that thing is in for a little bit than most of the time you were before you haven't even got to the finishing wire. Why? Look, it's so close to making it all happen. But here we've got this coming up with a parallelogram, even though it scared my wife. It was really big. It's going to change your life if you decide to use it. It's going to change your life, and it'd be so much more fun to go to the office. I think what I'm hopeful, you get the clear out, and you can have a practice explosion in older patients because you're going to be able to treat them in a very much shorter period of time, so easy. That I hope that's my prayer, and that's what I want to see happen for our profession. Okay, 99, here it is, 90, putting in the 99% rotation, in, out, done. Something big time is going on here. Isn't that interesting? Right there and there, with two top on each other. This is where we were. Hisham Badai, University of developed the measuring thing. He says, Ultima, he says, Dr. Hisham Badai, University of Alberta, inventor of the machine. Ultima has a very unique design. Dr. Damon amazingly has filled the slot without filling the slot. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? But I think it's a very good comment. Yeah, and that's why we have point contacts. We have point contacts. You got control of what's going on. The next slide shows why the Damon Ultra Assembly is the game changer for clinical orthodontics. Okay, lined up. Here's where we were. We had over there and here. Had some play in the door. Don't have here because we got it out. I didn't show you, but I got that out. But now, this is where we were. I think we did some pretty doggone good orthodontics. But now, instead of we having to do so much, what we put on the tooth is doing most of it, almost all of it. And all you have to do is smile and greet your patients and make sure that everything is going the right way. So here it is. Look at the difference here. Amazing, isn't it? But you look over here. You'd be amazed how good these patients look at 4.5 months, 5 months. Look at how close you are to point contacts over here, and look where we are here. See them all? See how it works? Does it mean anything? Can you see that and see how it works? I don't want to bore you to death going through everything. Steve, do you want, who are we?
I'm taking notes. That's very good. Keep going.
Is it okay to get done? Okay, I'm sorry. But this isn't even close, and yet I'm proud of this because it was such a giant step over where we were. But now we finally gone to where I've always wanted. Maybe I'll sleep now. Thank you, Ormco. Everyone on the Damon Ormco engineering team made this pledge. We will make all dimensions and tolerances the very best that we can, period. Okay? This even. That's why we don't have that play in the door. Okay? A second look, so important to remember. Okay, here we are, just going through the lower, tipped in. Look at the upper. Remember what we have? This up in here. Remember what we talked about here? Okay. This upper, upright. Liquid bone. See how I just followed it out? Upright. Bingo. It all happened. You don't have to mess with it. Alveolar cortical bone reshaped, falling along, teeth uprighting due to arch width, not torque. What we're not doing is this. See, if you torque it, you see, it's away. You know. Shows why tipping is desired, not bracket torque. Okay. All right, the upper. This is what is amazing to me. Here I showed that one, the Cody, 14 millimeter on its own. But they do that. And that's why if you don't abuse the upper, get the muscles working right for you, and they're going to do most of it for you almost all the time. And that's what will make your life so much easier. Why? Because I don't want anything to get in the way. And you see, this is such a gift in that upper arch to be able to have this where this is separated, and you can move this around, and you put a little, and it goes so easy if you don't overdo it. You can move it out 10, 12 millimeters, and it doesn't tip out.
No RPEs.
What?
No RPEs.
No RPEs? No, you don't need them. You don't need them. Yeah, if I didn't have to, well, no, I won't say that. Damon off the sin bracket choices. Okay, neutral torque in the 4s and 5s. Why? Because remember we talked about that. We're just going to get it with the arch form. It's going to take it right up into position. And here we are, the procline. It's going to give this retrocline. The other way. That's doing it for you. That's as simple as it is. Any questions? What's another thing is that's really, well, here, posterior bicuspid bracket only on the upper set. Procline, only put procline and retrocline on the upper cuspid to cuspid. This is all you have to do. What's I love is it gets to position, and then if you do something else and it starts to move out of position, it kicks back in and takes it right back where it's supposed to be. We've never had anything like that. Okay. Bracket torque teaming. I strongly encourage clinicians to select procline and retrocline brackets for all upper and lower anteriors. Ultima creates amazing bracket and torque found. Okay? Using forces in grams, not pounds. Armco has done 2 extensive studies with Damon Ultima the past 4 years, and become very obvious bracket torque teaming is a giant revolutionary step. Okay? Stop expecting one. I've already said that. Okay, just a quick showing you this quick summary. Going that way, that one going that way. The other way. That's fun. You just got to play with it. You know what I would suggest you do is get the brackets, the and just play with them, and put the wires in and just feel it. And you say, "Oh my gosh, this is all there is to it." Yeah, that's all there is to it. But it works. Torque teaming shows truly amazing torque control. By far the best I have ever seen in my lifetime. Now, okay, let's contrast between the two. Now, that's the difference in the shape inside the slot. Okay? 014. Does 014? It works a little better, doesn't it? Doesn't have quite the area. Now let's go to 018. Ooh, it's getting a lot better here, isn't it? So all of a sudden, when you go back and connect with the second molars, you're moving things. Things are coming a long ways. You're coming along. And your staff says, well, what are we going to do from here? You know, and here. Okay. Look at all the room and play here. Okay. Here we are. If you look at cases with 140275 and you look at it, you'll be stunned how good most of them look. They're way down the track. In fact, a lot of them are all better than where you were when you considered being finished. Okay? So 1925 over here. This really beats that. See that? 1825. Start bending up here. Down here you go play golf. Okay? Significant shortened treatment time, much easier to use for clinicians and staff, rarely needs arch wire bending. Okay? This is where I'm talking about. Play with these things. It'll show you exactly what, you can feel it. And I think it'll really help you. And look at the second page, written by my son Paul. You saw him. Wonderful guy, love him to death. Contrast ultimate results with only 014 and 018 inserted. Okay, this is not a tough case, but I just want you to watch it. Here he put these on. This is the second case he put on. And this is at 3 months, 1 week. You look where it is down here. This is back here. What I love, I'm going to show you this, and no more hooks here. They're back here behind this, and they're adjustable. That is so huge. I love that. Don't you think that's a big deal?
It does. They don't deform the wire either.
They don't deform the wire. And what I'm going to show you, when you have the hook here, it goes straight back and you close space better because it's not around the corner. Are you with me? 3 months, 1 week, and you're on your way home. Crown jewel, that 1425, I love it. And now, then 18. Looking okay. They were seeing them more frequently. This is back when we were just testing it. But you see, this is in 4 months, 2 weeks. That's what I'm saying to you. It wasn't very dramatic, but that's all I had at that time. That's why I showed it. Okay, but here's what I love. Look at the face. This gal's a prettier gal than this gal. And what's happened? It's doing good things to it as you reshape. That's why when you look at these and you can take a person that's a very average looking person and really take them to another level. This gal just loved what was going on. Just keeping you fresh with that. And it is working. Okay, now I'm just going to show you, get down to this so you remember this. That does the whole thing right there. See that? Huge practice builder. I'm telling you, if you educate your patients, that's when my practice took off. I worked hard at that. I loved it. I loved to communicate with my patients. But I went in Spokane, it was very hard to generate a practice. And I went from there and I had an amazing practice later because I it was so fun. Because you go downtown and my wife says, I can't go with you because you're stopped every 50 feet and you're talking to a friend, But it's so fun. So anyway, some patient examples selecting Procline. We'll just go through these quick. This is, I think, it'd be better to listen to Steve and Dr. Bicknell on how they choose brackets. But really, down below, on something like this, you're going to upright the lower. You're going to put retrocline on that, and you're going to put procline down. Most of the cuspids you have to come on. This is what you put on a heck of a lot of the time. Up above, because you got this up here, okay? You got upright, and that's it, okay? Same thing here again. See the tip in here? Upright, that'll come. You don't have to do all that stuff. this gal, a 2x4. Okay? What are you going to do? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be increasing that, but uprighting here. Same thing down below. That's why I use that most of the time on the lower. Upper, this, you're gaining space. This is one you're going to, we need class 2 elastics. You have to figure that in. This is kind of a tweener. You put them on, and it didn't work exactly the way you want. Worst case scenario, you change it. Okay? That's all. It's very simple. And the better you get to it, there'll come a time I know that, Mike, are you awake? Are you awake? Oh my gosh. How often do you have to change torques?
Probably say when I first started, you know, maybe once every 10 cases, and then maybe one tooth, and now it's probably, you know, it's very rare.
Very rare?
Yeah, very rare. Yeah. It's only, I mean, it's maybe.
I just wanted to give him the opportunity to say
When I
that.
first started, just because I was that strong, it would be a tooth where I was erupting it, I was adding class 2 elastic, and I expected maybe it to linearly tip, so I would put a profile on it, and it didn't, so then I would just, you know, right before, when I was in my reevaluation stage, I just swap it out for the opposite and keep the same wire in, and took a minute to fix.
And it's had a major impact, hasn't it, on what you're
I
doing?
mean, you don't have to bend single root torque, and you can get closer anyway, because the final position of that torque is the exact position that it's supposed to be. So for K9, it's what, -2, for lateral, +3, for central, +6.
Yes. So
you can't get that close by bending.
Yeah.
I mean, you could maybe get there, but it's very difficult to get exactly that, especially with play in the wire. Whereas with a full dimension arch wire, full expression, it's not magic. It's engineered to get to the right spot.
See how much better he speaks than I do? Yeah. Much better brain, yeah. Okay. Arch wire sequencing, we'll go through this quick because they're going to go through. This is kind of interesting. I want you to round 10,000 square inches of area in an 014. Okay, go down to an 18. 0.0025, you've gone up 10 thousandths. Okay? It's controlled. It's not just jumping around with arch wires. Then you go over here, you go to this, even going to the rectangular wire, and you're only 11 10,000ths. You're almost right. You're only 1 10,000th off. This is huge. I really worked on that to figure this out. And 9, it's almost exactly the same increment going up, so you're not letting pressure, or you were shaking your head. Does that make sense? Yeah, it really does. And you see, I worked on figuring this area off of each of these things going together. I figured out how I wanted to come up and to be kind to the bone and tissue. And that's what we tried to do, okay? It's not about placing the largest arch wire I can force into the slot. You just go through the regimen, and it's easy. Okay? Summary. Very helpful. Boom, look, I just love these slides. Put those in, you know they're working for you. And then you see this one and say, you know what the patient's going to say? Hey, this has really happened. They come in on a third appointment. They say, whoo. Then we're here. Okay? Both stop being active when tooth hits the 7. Simple, isn't it? Okay, regular treatment finding to the natural arch form. Proper functional occlusion dramatically lowers the number of patients needing extractions. Treating the natural also allows the toric and facial muscles to form a balanced and established proper airway and stability. minimize the application of treatment forces, and rarely have to bend finishing wires. Phase 1. Okay, start with 014. I'm going to go through this quick because I want these guys that are using it, I want them to use this. But you go on, they're using it all the time. But 014, 018, this is phase 1. And if 018 is very important to get the 7s, this is where you go back into the 7s. It's big. That's big. Please do that. And don't jump by 018. You could get it in, but it's going to hurt. Just go through and then pick up the 8s, and it really works well. Insert 1425. This is all in phase 1. And the case is coming really big time right now. 3 to 5. Okay? Please be aware that the use of early elastics. Now, this is a no-no. This is a no-no. Don't, in this early elastic, put in early elastics, because what's going to happen if you do that with round wires in here, what's going to happen, they're going to roll in. And you're going to make a whole bunch more work for yourself. Does that make sense, everybody? That's really important. And so, even though this really happened, it rolled in, and we got these, but you can, I'll just show you what, see how even though that wire had been in 3 weeks and taken a lot of the bend out of it, it had a lot more than that. But do you see how it had been in there because we're in class 2s and round wires. You see, you got an issue. Here it is, and what happens is that when you come out of that, you dump the lower incisors. Okay. Phase 2. That's simple. 180275. Hold first time back after placing 180275, 8-10 weeks, or whatever you decide to do. Careful, any rebonding needed. That's when you want to rebond. Bracket position and our torque selections. If you ever need overdrive wires, I want you to talk to these guys because they're using them. I think they would be a better judge of that than I, so I'm going to skip by that. Fitting upper and lower teeth together, achieving outstanding functional inclusion with proper natural arch form airway, and all those things we've been talking about for a long time. Treatment mechanics, anyway. Stone bracket shape for easy placement. This is a big deal, okay? All right, this is what, look how it's all lined up. The body isn't the same, all of the change is in the slot, but it has a center point. So it all lines up. Can you see how it's all lined up beautifully? Okay? This is where you've been. Q2. Look where it is, up and down. See the brackets? Because we gotten rid of that. And that's a big help. Does that make sense? Everybody understand that?
Yes, yes.
Okay? And all the brackets. And what's really very interesting, it's so much easier to re-bracket. If you have to move it, you've got, it's all oriented, and I'll show you that in a minute here. Okay, how are you going to reposition that bracket? You don't have the gauge that you really want to, no reference points. It's a little harder to do because it's up, bouncing up and down because of the way it's designed. But look at here. All lined up and top. It's all lined out for you. Okay? Big deal. That's a really help. And then you say, oh, I'm not going to put it that way. I need to just maybe move it just a little teeny bit, but it's so easy to see and read and do the right thing. Okay? Now, bracket placement. We'll go through this quick here and we'll get done here. Excuse me, courtesy of Larry Andrews, and I knew Larry real well, but stone models measured on the tabletop. Where, now if you were going to do what I did and spend thousands of hours developing this thing, where would you put brackets on to make it all work? Anybody? Where would you put them to be the best chance of having success? FA point. Just put an FA point. Do them all, and you get so good at it, you throw them behind your back. But you can do it. I mean, I just love the bracket. But now here, why you put this? This is when he was reading stone models measured on a tabletop, but that's not the way they're in the mouth. They're around 7, 8 degrees on the occlusal plane. You got a smile arc. Okay? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm going to show this, and that's why we put it at FA. Just get that so that's all you see. Don't be fudging brackets up and down. Put them at FA point. And the reason I say that is that when you move them up or you move them down, you get more than just a vertical change. You get a change in other dimensions. So you create a lot of things havoc for you. All you have to do is keep that thing at FA point, okay? Because you can see if this is, if you, Dr. Eason and Dr. Isaacson did great studies on this about how in any bracket, moving them up and down, how much it changed torque. Does that make sense? I'm pleading with you. Yeah. Okay? All right. All right. Now, there's many advantages of Damon Oldbud's game-changing assembly to place at FA point. There it is. Love it. The front placement is so critically important. Now, some people, we had a big move, and I'm not throwing anybody. I just wanted you to know. I would encourage you, this, if you want, in bracket plane, beautiful smile arc, people started putting them down. But that dramatically changes torque. It's huge. Please, I plead with you. Please don't do it because I'm going to show you it's so simple. And what really, you put it down, you put,
Changeable.
you slide, this isn't an FA, it's down. But this thing comes across, it hasn't made one bit of difference in where this is. It's just gone the same arc on it, and by putting the thing from back clear up to front, it doesn't change anything. Do you get that? This is down here, but it goes all the way across here. If it stopped and it was in one area, don't do it this way, because it is, I'm not saying it very well. Do you get what I'm trying to, huh? You don't? Okay. What this is, if you had teeth here and you didn't have any braces, and you put this in a line from clear back here, and it goes up high and it goes all the way in the back, it's in a straight line and a plane that goes all the way, it doesn't move anything. Are you with me? It's a zero. It doesn't help anything, but you look at the patient comes in, see that beautiful smile arc? Not helping anything. Okay? No, but there's a way to handle that. By putting it down, you've changed the torque in the 6 degrees. Because of 1 millimeter equals 3 degrees. Okay? Torque change, 6, 7 degrees. Take a closer look at how altering bracket placement. I want you to look at this. This is really fun. how this, if you really look at your cases, do you see how it's almost a circle? It doesn't look like, now some of them are pretty flat, but a lot of them, look at that, it falls right on the circle. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a real important thing to understand. Gingival bracket placement impacts bracket arch wire performance. You put an FA, you go down here, upper one bracket 2 millimeters gingival, the affects torque 6 degrees. Okay? Same thing here. Just doing it quick. 2 millimeters times 3, 6 degrees. Okay? Now, okay, well, just another way to look at it. This one is here. And when I put on this one down is 2 more millimeters down. Okay? Or gingival. All right? Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this bracket and slide it down here. I'm going to take this bracket that's 2 millimeters up, and I'm going to slide it down here. Now, so on 0, over here, 6 degrees. You see, you're fighting yourself by doing that. Does everybody get that? It's very important to understand. It's simple, but I want you to understand that. Okay? Now, see, this is just showing. It's going to keep going here because they're going to cover this. But it's really interesting. I just want to show you. This is just. That's what you do when you're going up and down. That's how much it affects it. Does that make sense? 7, 6 on this side. Over here, 7, 1, 3, 12 degrees you've affected by trying to make a smile arc. But there's a way to do that, what we're talking about. What a gift for clinicians. What I want you to do, just step down right at the end, put a step between here and here, and it gives you your smile arc. That's all you have to do. Huh?
Yeah, if you need it, but not.
If you need it, but you hardly ever have to do that. But once in a great while, when you have almost a reverse smile, that's the time to take care of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let him do that. Hopefully, all of your staff refresh how you utilize your clinical mechanics. Dramatically improve your final presets, significantly save time. Oh man, yeah. Now, clinicians and staff that are having challenges achieving treatment goals with PSL have often fallen into the trap of using some similar clinical mechanics for PSL that they used with twin mechanics. These things. If you put them on the lower anterior, as soon as you get a contact together, bye. No more. Because what you're going to do, you're going to keep those on and you're going to get the worst out of the early wires that you've got in there. Does that make sense? Okay? C-chains also increase binding and friction and all those things that we've talked about a long time. Just pull them together and then get rid of it. Okay? Once anterior spaces are closed, very important to remove the compressive force of C-chains because it binds. You've got binds in there, even though it may not move. It affects the performance of the whole thing. Place new Ultima hook. I love these Ultima hook things. These are really cool. All right, they're not the real ones, but see, I've always wanted to put hooks distal because it's a much better place. And when you hook here and go back, you're not going around the corner if you're in front. Okay? These are the wires that I just love. These are really cool. The new Damon Ultima hooks. They slide. You can move them. And so after here, slide it up, you put the C chains on, you got the spaces closed, put that in, slide it up there, it's held, and it's clean, it's neat, and it's there where you want it to be. I just think this is really a good move, okay? Hook's easy to use, very clean. And then if you got to play, oh, this thing moved. They always, I don't know why on this slide it wants to move.
Jump, yeah.
Yeah, but this, just use the hook if you have to close spaces. Very easy to do. Very easy to do. Any questions on that? Okay. In 55 years, we have come a long way. I thought this was interesting. Back in 1970, the fee was $1,000.
Oh, boy.
Isn't that interesting? Okay, but here it is. That's my scratchy head.